Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers, including Peter Berryman, John Robertson, Brandon Trano, and IndyCar World Champion Alex Palou. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship, end of the 2022 Season 1 here at the relative home where all championships should be decided and ended at Autodromo, Jose Carlos Paque, or Interlagos. I'm Austin. I'm joined by Tim Cox and Dennis Branch in the production booth, and you're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
Hello and welcome. Well, Austin, I'm really happy to be in with the commentary with you for the final round of the season. I know a little bit late to the party, but what can we say about this circuit? It is an absolute classic. Of course, so many famous drivers over the years have come from Brazil, and this circuit that's, well, as you can see from parts of the background where it's right pretty much in the town centre, quite sort of unique in that respect, and it's got so many iconic corners, it's so many overtaking opportunities. Of course, the long run out of, well, what is technically the last but one corner, Juncal, all the way down to turn one, generates so many overtaking opportunities, and, well, that's before we've even started heading out onto down the run down to turn 2 and turn 3.
Yeah, this circuit is definitely classic and just so fun to race around. And, you know, racing around here, it's got so many opportunities for overtaking and close racing that is just absolutely fantastic. And this track hasn't really changed a lot, but yeah, it is it's an old breed of circuit that is in the kind of middle of a population, and you know, there's been some threats of it not being there anymore, but you know, the surrounding areas really embraced the circuit and kept around there, and you know, that brings up a certain thing. You don't really see a lot of circuits with populations built around them. I can only name a few of them that have you know, people living around a circuit and embracing that culture. Indianapolis Motor Speedway comes to mind right there, and Daytona International Speedway.
Well, I could throw another classic circuit that's exactly the same, Imola. Monza is incredibly close to, you know, where people live as well, and it's all the classics, you know, the old school classics.
Suzuka.
Well, yeah, that's another one. All the circuits we know and love, and wow, I'm sure we're in for an absolute epic night of racing. And Formula Renault, we were just saying before the show about the Formula Renault 3.5, and I mean, it's a really tricky car to master and get your teeth into. But once you can get it hooked up and understand this car, my God, it is one hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, this car is absolutely very fun to drive. It keeps you on your toes. It doesn't baby you in. It's very. If you don't understand the car completely, you're going to be looking at the opposite side of where you're supposed to be going a few times in a practice session. The tires very sensitive as well. So if you don't get everything pinpoint right, you're going to be well, not having a good time. Let's just say that. As we ride on board of James J. Peensker through turn 5, heading into turn 6. We aren't using the modern version of Interlagos as a sinkhole is open up right there, but that's probably a good thing.
Yes, it probably is a bit of a good thing, but, well, I'm sure there'll be a few people potentially finding the barriers and other parts of the circuit. Of course, being an old school circuit, there is plenty of runoff around here, and but with the exception really of the start finish straight, which is obviously the wall's right up against the edge of the track. However, it's nice and wide, and you know, gives you plenty of, as we were saying earlier, plenty of chances for overtaking. And well, I'm sure it's going to be tight during qualifying. It's just the Pinsker there heading up onto the second row of the grid, third place with a 120.6.
Yeah, it's a on space that we see for James J. Peensker. You know, James being the defending 3.5 champion, looking for another championship to add on to that belt. Eddie Samborski sitting in second, and at his home race, Fabio De Carmo is currently sitting up there on pole position by 0.2 compared to everybody else. Drivers still on the lap, James J. Peensker and Daniel Barrero. James Mallow is in the session, but he hasn't set a time or hasn't even got out on track right there. As this is Daniel putting in his second lap times, 122, 176. It'll be at the back of the grid, and here is James. First sector he improved, but second and third, it's a little bit not looking good right there. Fourth sector, once again, not an improvement as well. Coming into the final sector, opens up DRS, or enables DRS, but DRS in this car is an F-duct type system where it just stalls out the rear wing, and it's very hard to see. It's a little flap at the back of the car that will rise up, and it comes across the line. Improves on the time, but doesn't improve on position. James J. Peensker will be starting in the second row in third place. But yeah, that DRS, very hard to see. If you can see through the wing, it's not enabled. If you can't see through the wing, it is enabled.
Okay, and well, how more fitting to have a Brazilian on pole here for in Interlagos. Well, here's your grid.
Yeah, Fabio De Carmo, full-time esports by TK, starting up on pole here at Brazil. They're followed by Eddie Samborski in second place, James J. Peensker in third, Yuta Saito in fourth, Josh Stewart, Yuki Shirakawa, Theodore Burns, Gio Danto, Dennis Furkheim, Mark J. Ponik, Marcos Alecron, Miguel Viela, and behind them, they're followed by Eric Weisermeisky, Dylan Freckleton, Philip Hillard, Miguel Crespo, Dennis Cornu, John Owens, Daniel Gallus, I Am Keyman, Cal Young, Oliver Kwaka, and Gerhard Rhodes with Daniel Barrero in 24th, and James Mallow at the end of the grid if they can get the car out of the garage.
Just waiting for the last few drivers to see.
Yes, James is going to be there. So 25 cars all lined up and ready to go here at Interlagos, and oh man, I am ready for this one.
27 laps tonight. Wow, I'm sure it's going to be 27 laps of intense racing, drama, excitement. We're just waiting for the last few drivers to take the grid, and for me, they just couldn't grid up any sooner. Just these already I can feel that the hairs standing up on the end, on their ends on my arm, and just already almost vibrating with excitement. Who doesn't love Formula cars around Interlagos? for a season finale as well. It does not get any better than that. And you can watch it all here at Apex Racing TV.
Well, all the cars are lined up. We were just waiting for one more. 10 seconds to the lights. Here at Interlagos, the virtual crowd is on their feet as Ian Keeman will be starting from the pit lane. Ian Keeman was qualified in 20th. So here we go. For one last time of the season, it is 5 red lights, and away we go. Green, green, green here for the iRacing 4x3.5 Championship. And what a start by James J. Piecer to Eddie Samborski jumping into the lead right there. It's a chaos behind a big crash. Yuki Shirakawa involved. Josh Stewart involved as well. Oh my gosh. Massive crash at the start of this race and just chaos at the line. Eddie Samborski and James A. Piecer launched out from the front and completely avoided that by the hair of their chinny chin chins, and they gotta be breathing a big sigh of relief right there.
Wow. I mean, I did wonder if the pit start would be the best of moves, but it's proving to be absolutely inspired right now by Keeman, as he's come out into the middle of the pack pretty much.
He's at 5 spots where he qualified.
Yeah. It's, wow. Wow, what an absolutely inspired move there by the American.
Crespo is probably breathing. Miguel Crespo's heart's probably leaping out of his chest. He's currently the biggest mover, up 9 spots, and the biggest benefactor right there. Here's the start from Theodore Burns' perspective. It's a slow start by, I believe that was Fabio in that car. And then it's just a massive netcode on the inside of one of the 365 cars. And I think that's just the brakes is going out on the rear end right there. Here's Gio Tanto. Currently sitting in 4th place, and already Eddie Samborski looking on to the inside. Oh no! The 2 championship rivals colliding in with each other. Samborski went down low, and they make contact, and Eddie Samborski. Oh no, and James A. Piecer, big contact heading into turn 1, and that is not what you want to see right there if you're a supporter of James J. Piecer, or if you're Eddie Samborski. And I know Eddie, he doesn't like having incidents like that. See James getting into the draft of Samborski and going around to the outside right there. Cuts him off just a little bit. Samborski with a late dive down to the inside, and that's a big incident. James' car looks all right, but oh, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fluster feelings. That's a send and a half down to the inside. Was that Dennis Furkheim who just did it? It was Dylan Freckleton.
It was indeed, and wow, all while this has been going on, Austin, Fabio Takamo has resumed the lead of the race.
Eddie's
obviously lost those places.
Eddie's pulled off.
Oh no, that's gutting for him. Oh no, he's back. He's back up and running.
I think Eddie felt bad about it, so he's pulling off of the track and letting people by to give James the position back. Or he does have some damage on the car. I couldn't see damage on the car, though. We'll see if Eddie goes in to give himself a drive-through penalty or something. Side by side, Dylan Freckleton down to the inside, heading into the Senna S, but holding around to the outside right there is Cornu. But Cornu just loses the spot after the first part of that chicane, but we'll be getting the draft advantage from there. But watch out for Marcos Alarcon in 9th place, getting into the draft as we go to the Curva de la Zone. The fight for 2nd place, Gino Tanto and Ponic, as there's a incident. Dylan Freckleton's around and in the kitty litter right there.
It's down at Ciudad Largo, that is, and wow, it's a long way back from the edge of the track. Plenty of room to run off into, and look at the replay right now of how it all unfolded. Cars following incredibly closely.
Alarcon is
just late on the brakes. I'm not even sure whether he had a tap from behind himself to Cornu. It was, they were literally all on top of one another. These two.
Hello, my baby. Look at this fight. Saito holding around the outside. He's still on the outside right there. He's almost getting pushed off the track. Around the outside of 3 consecutive apexes in the corners. He is still on the outside right there. Miguel Vila is just, his spotter must be just wrapped on it. On your right, on your right, on your right. We're going to go 3 wide down the front straightaway as here comes Alacron right now around the outside of all two of them right there. Still 3 wide through the corner, side by side. But Marcos Alacron in the lead now as there's chaos in the background. Cal Young is off the track at turn 1 once more. And oh man, chaos happening right here as Mark Ponick actually went into the pit lane. Here's a replay after that sensational 3 wide. And I'm guessing Cal got pushed from the back right there. Was that Keeman?
Yeah, that was Keeman there. He's already up in an impressive 10 places. Not as good as Miguel Crespo, currently occupying 3rd place, last place on the podium. Up 13 places already in this, well, drama-filled opening stages here of the season finale of Formula Renault 3.5 Interlagos. Austin, we've only done 3 3/4 laps, and we've had enough action and drama to last us a whole season.
Yeah, the Formula 3.5 series this has definitely been one of the most drama-filled seasons that I've seen, especially between Eddie Samborski and James A. Pincer with the ending race contact at Twin Ring Motegi, with the start of the race contact at Suzuka, and it kind of mellowed out between them and then the end of the season, they both having massive contact at turn 1, the start of the 2nd lap. Oh, this season has been these two drivers going at each other right there, as this is Daniel Barrero heading into the pits. I believe a few of these drivers just getting a little bit of damage.
Yeah, damage front wing though, Austin.
Yeah, damage right there, and I could definitely see some more damage happening. There's a lot of track extending happening at turn 3, which, you know, if you got to go fast around some places, you definitely are. There has been a lot of netcode, and thankfully in the iRacing update, they are fixing the netcode detection of a few cars, so hopefully it will be the end of giant gaps of netcode. But these opening laps have been very, 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 very dirty, and a lot of unfortunate radio messages.
Well, let's not forget, we've got 27 laps here. We're just coming up to our leader, Fabio Di Carmo. He's just coming up on to start his 5th lap here. There he is right now, the Brazilian leading in Brazil. What a gap he's already got, open at 3 seconds over Tanto in 2nd place. He's then got a further 2 seconds gap to Crespo behind him. And that's where it all starts, this fighting right now.
And James A. Pincer, oh, look at this fight side by side. I'm Keeman. Oh, around the outside. Hold it around there. What a brilliant move by I Am Keeman. You rarely see a move work around the outside of the Senna S, but I Am Keeman kept it very tight on the inside car of Philip Hillard. But here comes Philip Hillard looking around the outside right there, covered off by Keeman, using all the track and then some of the runoff. As up ahead as Samborski and Cornu make a little swap of positions. Eddie Samborski up into 7th place as he gets a little bit of the AstroTurf right there. But yeah, the updates to iRacing are coming in, and I'm going to be honest, I'm very excited to see a few of these updates. Some are just quality of life. The AstroTurf not emitting tire smoke anymore, or putting off tire tracks onto AstroTurf, which, you know, if you manage to scuff up AstroTurf, it's really hard to do. So I'm glad that's being adjusted. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Interlagos and then the netcode stuff.
So a nice little battle emerging here. This all out currently over 3rd place, that last place on the podium. 3 drivers scrapping it out, and this is going to be close on the run down to Destino del Lago.
And looking down to the inside, here we go. Side by side, he's got his nose on the rear of the car. He sends it into the corner with a nice late braking move and just covers him off the exit of the corner. But look who is right there. It's 2 spots gained for Saito. Saito is on the back end. You can see Vila. Miguel just got a little bit held up right there. Not really sure what's happening. It's Saito, big lockup heading into the corner, and it's a little bit wide for Alacron. Alacron, though, saving his horses right there as Yuta Saito very aggressively looking down to the inside.
You get the feeling that these three are not done and dusted yet. They're going to have plenty of more passes yet to come. Of course, drives are limited on the amount of DRSs that they've got.
Only 8.
And yes, it is 8 indeed. And it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers use those tactically. Don't want to burn through too early for this sort of situation. Wow, Samborski getting the move done nice and early there. And
with Eddie moving up spots, the reason why he's still going, his championship rival of James J. Peasker is out of the race. He's pulled off in 19th place. He sent me a message. He's like, I gave it my all. The car can't drive anymore. Eddie still has a chance to win the championship right here. And if he just gets up into a few more places, he will be having this championship. I'm not sure on which position it is, but will say that if he gets to the top 3, Eddie Samborski, that's Dennis Cornu off at turn 3. Eddie Samborski could be our champion here.
So Corny's all by himself here on the run down the rhetoric post.
I feel like there might...
No, he's going to lose it all by himself. Round he goes.
Too much speed into the corner. Back end goes out. Might have had a little help on the curbing on the inside.
Wow. Well, it's a three-way battle. It's down to 2, isn't it? And you can see Sam
up to 5th now.
What a recovery drive by Samborski. Look completely and utterly down and out at turn 1 on the opening lap as Young now having to try and find a way past Cornu. Better to maybe not do it into Young Cal. Just wait for this opportunity now. On the run, past the start-finish straight on the run down to the center S's. Far high, rate of success being able to do it here. However, not getting the best of runs out of Young Cal, and he's dropped back unless he's deliberately sandbagging to get the move done down the Retro there.
Well, Cornu does have wing damage. If you look at the front right wing of Dennis Cornu, it is a little bit bent. And that's going to be giving Cal Young just a little bit of advantage right there as there's Cornu heading through that corner. But yeah, through the corners to overtake here is pretty tricky unless you're just out of this world fast. And you're seeing this happen right here with the 2 trains in the fight for 3rd. Look at that car closing in for them. That's Eddie Samborski trying to hunt down that championship fight. And you got 2 cars battling in front of you. This might get very interesting right now as here comes Eddie Samborski. After that contact with James J. Pincer, falls down to 9th place, pulling himself up to 5th. And he's getting into the draft there. He is in the draft right now. Now, you can open up DRS whenever you want. You don't have to be 1 second in there. You only have 8 uses of it left as these two are in a big fight looking down to the inside. There goes Saito on Alacron heading into turn 1. This would be great if you're Eddie Samborski closing in right there. Saito makes a move down to the inside. Alacron slots right directly in behind of Saito. Saito getting onto the curve right there through the opening sector. And look at them going down to the inside. DRS enabled for Saito. Just going to be ahead of Alacron. Alacron looking down to the inside. No late braking maneuver right there. There's Eddie Samborski on the gearbox right there of Marcos Alacron looking for that 4th spot.
Samborski desperate to try and snatch that last place on the podium, or even maybe try and chase down Tanto, who's some 4 seconds up the road from these guys. You might be able to just catch him occasionally in the camera angle, depending on where we're looking at. There you go, and just in the foreground, disappearing at the bottom of the screen there. But this is where it gets tricky for Samborski now. You know, he's had off easy pickings, you might argue, and now he's locked in a battle with 2 drivers that equally are desperate to get onto the podium themselves. This is going to be really, really tough, and interesting to see how Samborski deals with this and handles it. You know, he's still got time on his side. We're not even a half race distance yet, just coming on to lap 11 out of 27 here in Interlagos, so still plenty of time. However, you get the feeling he'll want to dispatch these guys as quick as possible.
Samborski was just faking a move down the inside, but you know what happened last time he did a fake move down to the inside? Contact with James A. Pinsker, and that sent James out of this race, and Eddie's going to be definitely more cautious about that, but definitely a lot of heat right there as Alacron and Saito going side by side. Alacron covering off Saito just leaving him just barely enough car width right there as they go side by side. But Saito has the inside line throughout the corner. Now they're still side by side heading into turn 5. And Saito gives up the track position for Alucron so that they don't hold each other up and, you know, put themselves at threat from Eddie Samborski. And if you're Eddie, you're probably just like, oh, no, they're racing smartly. There goes my chance to sneak by right here as Eddie's desperately trying to get into that top 3 spot to what I presume would give him the championship fight. I don't know the exact position that he needs to be, but with his championship rival of James not being in here from him, it's definitely a big talking point.
There we go. Who is going to pick, well, if anyone, Samborski now tucked up right behind Saito.
This is going to be outside move.
We see a lot of people get that move done around the outside. You know, it's a lot of grip, and it's a bit of a weird corner that, you know, you find yourself. Oh, that's Freckleton there off the track. I think the groundskeeper's a bit of work by Moan. Yeah, I think the groundskeeper's a bit of a job there, but I'm not sure how he's managed that one. It's a bit of a strange place to spin off to. He ended up on the outside.
Maybe. Oh, he got into the grass on the outside. He hit the curb on the outside and actually got some hang time right there. It's an odd place to see a car end up, but it's usually taking too much of the curbing on the outside because the track does fall away out there and the back end can really snatch up. We've seen that happen in the Spec Racer Fords when they came here earlier in the year in the Weekend Warriors series on Sundays, which is also on Apex Racing TV. Cars did get into the grass and shot across there, but kind of a rare thing to see in these cars. But, you know, Formula cars are very sensitive to aggressive changes in pavement heights, curbs, bumps, a lot of things.
Yes, they're precision machines, aren't they? Whereas
be glad porpoising is not a thing in iRacing.
Well,
as here's Eddie Samborski down to the inside, heading into turn 1, onto the brakes, and ooh, tight on the entry. Marcos Alcon, but Eddie Samborski up into 3rd.
A great move by Samborski there, really saying his authority. Might be even screwing a bit aggressive.
Though.
I was going to say, he needs to be careful because he might have to defend instantly as the drag race down to the Interlagos.
Samborski had DRS enabled down the straightaway. Alucard didn't have DRS. Samborski desperately wanted to hold on to that P3. And Alucard and Saito, they got to work together if they want to stay ahead of Samborski because Samborski's pace is really, really fast in these cars. And you can see they're just being dropped by Samborski just slowly, 10th by 10th, corner by corner. Eddie has been working towards the championship of these cars, and it's really been out of his reach. And he was saying, like, if this is the year, this has to be the year it is. But you know, he said that he wasn't going to be competing in these final few races if he didn't feel like he didn't have a chance at the championship. He did miss a round when James wasn't here because he was snowmobiling, and he realized that he had a championship chance, and so he's here to try to make that happen. Though, with that contact, it's definitely the way that he didn't want that to happen if he does win the championship, and if it does come down to this race.
Just watching Crespo right now. I've been keeping an eye on him the last few laps, Austin. Of course, he was up in last remaining place on the podium, and it's just dropped off the back of what was Saito and Alcron in that freeway battle between himself and those two. Since then, it's struggled a little bit for pace. Having said that, last time around, did go quicker than, well, the 3 cars in front of him by over 0.4 of a second. The closest driver to him. However, it's not proving to be good enough to get away from the clutches of Keeman and Villa, who are coming along for the ride, and it's going to be interesting to see what these 3 can do and whether they can work together and close up the gap on Alcaron and Saito ahead of them.
And Keeman on the back of Miguel Crespo. Both these drivers in the double digits right now as they come across that final corner and onto the front straightaway or straight curve. flat out and in the draft of each other. They do have Miguel behind them. As Samborski puts in the new fastest lap to the race as he's looking for trying to close in on Tanto. As here we go, Keeman on the inside of Crespo into turn 1. I am Keeman, wonderful overtake right there.
Now at 14 places. The driver that started from the pits didn't look like went for safety over race results. However, it's proven to be absolutely inspired, but he might know he's going to hold on to it. I wonder if Crespo might be able to just pull alongside, although we've had his work cut out around the outside at Interlagos. However,
wonderful defense right there.
It was, and this what he can now do, as I said, he's at 14 places into 6th. Wow, it's what an inspired move by starting from the pits. Missed all that chaos and carnage down at turn 1. Came out, as you said at the time, Austin, 5 places higher than where he had, qualified. And right now he's chasing down a position inside the top 5.
As Crespo just trying to pull away and chase down I'm Keeman. He was putting up a fight with Keeman at the receiving end. It's just Keeman put his car exactly where he needed to be to stay ahead. Are we going to be seeing Crespo return the favor right now? We also got a fight down the straightaway. Big raise across the line. That's Daniel Gallus and Philip Hillards going side by side into turn 1. Philip going to try to hold it around the outside. It's not going deep into the corner, and we'll just stay behind and going for another lap. He's too far back to stay in that draft and really capitalize off of it.
No, they head down the Reta Polster, and this is where tactics come into Formula Renault 3.5, because, as you mentioned, you've only got 8 attempts at using your DRS, and it's how the drivers deploy. We saw Samborski using a lot of his early on to get those passes done, and so he could get clear of all the traffic. However, what has he got left, especially compared to Tanto, who's been just moseying around in 2nd place by himself? Samborski has closed that gap up to Tanto, and that now stands at 1 second. It was out as much as 4 seconds at one stage when he was locked in that battle with Agron and Sato. So it's, we haven't got long to find out. We're 17 out of 27 laps completed. And now watching Crespo the Zach.
Yeah, here we go. Miguel Crespo on the outside here of I Am Keeman. He's definitely locked in that opportunity. And I Am Keeman, wonderful defense. He knew how to defend that well. Just give him the littlest amount of space to maneuver that car into the brake zone. It's either going to have to go deep to hold it around the outside, but Crespo, he is right there on Keeman, but Keeman on that inside line. Watch him move over, squeeze off that opportunity for Crespo to really maneuver under the braking. And Ian Keeman stays ahead as Eddie Samborski is taking 2nd place on Tanto.
Wow, it was
in a very awkward spot to really see a move happen right there. And Tanto was taking that inside line as Eddie goes a little bit wide. Here's what happened coming out of turn 3.
He's tucked it right behind, and Samborski.
Oh, he just had the better run right there and just snuck his nose down the inside. Tanto didn't want to fight that, really fight that one away as Samborski found his way down to the inside. Tanto just stayed wide to avoid contact. And Samborski up into 2nd place, and I feel like that will give him the championship now.
Well, can he? I mean, he's got himself all the way up to 2nd, Austin. Can he even try and hunt down DeCarmo? I mean, Samborski setting the fastest lap of the race last time around, 1:21.2.
It's 10 laps. 10 laps, and last lap by Eddie Samborski was half a second. And they're separated by 5 seconds.
He's got time. He has got time.
The math does check out. The math, we could be looking for a last lap situation around here, but Eddie's going to have to go into alien Eddie mode right here to get the win on Fabio DeCarmo, the full-time driver esports by TK. And, what a scene it will be for the Brazilian to win the final race here in Brazil.
Wow. Not long left to find out how this one's going to pan out, but as you can see there from the graphics, Zamborski going half a second a lap quicker than our leader right now over the course of the last 5 laps. However, DeCarmo, who's been out in front by himself for most of the race, Austin, won't have been using up his DRSs. And, you know, with Zamborski coming on the attack as well, talking of attacks, you see where it's losing a place to Freckleton there. But it's what Zamborski has got left in the tank. And you feel like, you know, if he can close up onto the back of DeCarmo, I think DeCarmo's going to have the upper hand because he's going to have those DRSs in the bank, ready to utilize in the closing stages of the race.
Yeah, Zamborski has used his DRS a few times to attack and to defend, so Fabio can be using his DRSs to really pull away. And, you know, when they get into the final 8 laps, they're going to be using out the front straight as much as they can, and that's going to be putting Zamborski on the back foot. And you can see Zamborski is still closing down another half second faster than Fabio DeCarmo. But Fabio, he wants to join that exclusive list of Brazilians who win at the top level at their home race. Emerson Fittipaldi, Nelson Piquet, Aaron Senna, Felipe Massa, and Jose Carlos Paquet, which this track is named after, being the 5 Brazilian drivers in Formula 1 who have won at a Formula 1 race in Brazil. And, you know, Fabio would want to join that company here on iRacing.
It's going to be fascinating to see
Pache,
how
I'm sorry.
Zamborski, let's take a look as he crosses the start-finish line once again and goes. Wow. Talk about Mr. Consistency.
Faster.
Yeah.
Can we get a lap time reading on Eddie Zamborski? How many times did he ran that same lap?
Well, look at that. Talk about consistency. 121.9, 121.7, 121.7, 121.7, 121.8.
That's Fabio.
Sorry, yeah, that's apologies. That's yeah, sorry, Fabio, isn't it? But even
you got to Zamborski, we'll get that. 121.5, 121.1, 121.2, 121.2, 121.2. Yo, if somebody wants an endurance team and you sign Zamborski, you're going to get exactly what you paid for right there. That is ridiculous.
Cannot argue with that sort of consistency, and he's throwing absolutely everything at this, including the kitchen sink. Got the gap down to 4.3 seconds, 7 laps remaining. This is on. He's got a chance. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tight, and when he gets in within 1.4 seconds, he'll be getting that draft from Fabio ahead of him. He's within 4 seconds now, so he's not going to be affected by that dirty air, but when he gets in there, he's going to be getting that slipstream down the front straightaway. But if they continue at this pace, they hold the same pace. This is a little bit slower lap from Zamborski, but 4/10 faster than Fabio right now, as we have a fight throughout the field. Philip Hiller and Daniel Gallus in the fight for 9th place.
A battle's up and down the field right now, and it's absolutely competitive, fascinating race that's being played out here today. You see Gallus just maybe just backing out a little bit. Doesn't always pay you to
around the outside. Hello, he's going for it. He's got the inside line now, but now he's going to be a little bit slower. Then off the exit, Mark Ponick will not be able to get the spot on Cal Young. Cal Young and Mark Ponick side by side through the S right there, and what a brilliant fight, and it's still going on. Here goes Ponick down to the inside now. Side by side they're going to go, but once again around the outside, Cal Young holding it off right there with the speed throughout the corner, but now Ponick is going to have that inside line, but Young on the inside now. He's going to be able to hold off Ponick once more and stay ahead of Mark, and Mark is just probably reeling. It's like, come on, I got to get the spot.
I was only just about to say, sometimes it doesn't pay you to make the move along the start-finish straight, because immediately you've got what is, you know, technically the back straight pretty much immediately after the center S's, you know, through what's technically classed as turns 1 and 2, but essentially it's a one flowing corner as it moves left, right, and then left again. And we're going to see, what is Ponick going to do this time around? Cal Young's definitely keep hold that place. We're just going to elect to, yeah, we saw him go on the attack last time around. Of course,
He'll be
these two
forced
are
to go wide
race
again.
guys. But if he can hold it around the
Oh,
outside,
he's got a
done.
car length ahead. He's got a car length advantage right there. That's money right there for Mark Ponick. He's just going to have to really nail down this line right here and know where to put his car on defense. Maybe look down towards the middle of the track or maybe the inside of the track. Yeah, he's going all the way to the grass, down to the inside. Going to be forcing Cal Young to go onto the outside, but always giving up that inside line. He's definitely had the car links to do that right there. Mark Ponick in 12th place, but Cal Young still right there to go onto the attack and on the rebound here with 5 laps remaining here at Interlagos, and 3.2 seconds separates Eddie Samborski and Fabio De Carmo with these closing laps. Here's Eddie.
Made that 3 seconds. Austin, he's taken
seconds.
2. Well, he's down to 2.9 now. He's coming for him. And it's whether De Carmo can hold off. As he cuts the timing beam, let's take a look. Wow.
Why do I hear boss music?
0.6 of a second on the last lap, Samborski.
That is insane. 0.6 gain in 1 lap, and he can
2.7 now, Austin. It's
up ahead.
2.6.
He's a second out on getting that draft from Fabio ahead of him. 1.4 is that magic number that when that draft really comes into play, and when that happens, Samborski will get up there like a vacuum cleaner finding Cheeto dust out of the back of your seat.
I'm not sure how to respond to that one, but
like a
well, we've got this. Well, there we go. I'll just have to suck it up. Excuse the appalling pun there. As we see,
you weren't Sammy. I'll let you pass on that.
Well, no worries. As you see, Gallus there, he's trying to find his way past Cornu. He's had a bit of a mixed bag of a race, really. He's been involved in a few incidents, finding himself currently in that last place inside the top 10 in 10th. As we see, Cal Young still trying to find a way past Ponick, and wow, after the Canadian managed to get the move done, Young's not really had too much of an answer for him. At the moment, seems to be happy to sit behind him, maybe looking to make some moves within the last couple of laps.
Tanto and Alarcon nose to tail across the line, heading into turn 1. The fight for third. It's the fight for first. New fastest lap by both of the drivers in the fight for the lead. Personal best by Fabio De Carmo. New fastest lap by Eddie Samborski. 121.1, 4/10 gain right there. But here comes Alarcon and Tanto. Tanto looks down to the looks for the outside line, and Marcos to stay down to the inside right there. They stay nose to tail with each other as Gio is just defending, using all the track to stay ahead of Marcos, and Marcos going to try to sneak by right now. Still behind Gio Tanto, but Gio, what a good race he's having here today.
He's having an absolutely amazing race in this battle for that last place on the podium. Marseille battle. This could get nasty. The gloves could come off in the final stages of the race, which was now entering fully into 3 laps remaining. That
and
gap
DRS
up front
is in play.
2.1
Fabio is
seconds.
using DRS, and Eddie is using DRS. So this is going to be all pace made down to the on the other sides of the track. De Carmo 121.2, Samborski 120.7, half a second gain. He's broken the 2-second mark. Samborski closing in as Alarcon and Tanto swap spots for third place, and they're still side by side. Alarcon around to the outside of the Senna S, and they almost touch mid-corner, being pushed out wide. Alarcon switches down to the inside. Tanto left the door open. He's got his nose down onto the wheelbarrow. They touch on the straightaway, but they keep going straight as Alarcon down to the inside in turn 3, pushing Tanto off the track right there. Marcos Alarcon into third place. What a brilliant fight, but the gloves are definitely off, and as here comes Gio looking down to the inside of turn 5, got onto the binders to avoid a incident right there. But here he goes, Tanto onto the big send. But can he hold it around to the outside using the banking to his advantage? Tanto still side by side with Alarcon. Tanto swings it past Alarcon into the next corner. Tanto is in third. And as they fight, here comes Yuta Saito. Behind it, we're going to have a 3-car fight for third very soon as Tanto leads out Alarcon, leading out Saito. Third, fourth, and fifth separate just by a blanket's width right now, with 2 laps remaining. Coming down the front straightaway. Whose game is it going to be? As it is Gio defending all the way to the inside wall, almost getting into the pit entry barrier as Alacron swings it around the outside, clears him heading into the corner. Alacron leading out Tonto, leading out Saito now. With 2 laps to go, they come across the Senna S and down to the run up into turn 3. We see Yuta just looking down to the inside. I think just judging on how much drafted advantage he's going to get if he catches them at the wrong or right spot. And he's just biding his time as Samborski 1.2 seconds separates Fabio De Caro and him. Can Eddie take the win, and can Eddie take the championship here?
Another new fastest lap last time around from Samborski. Unfortunately got deleted because he had an off track somewhere as well. It bounces up and down the field here, Austin, as Gullis tries to find a way past
Samborski's off the track. Eddie Samborski is off the track.
No!
Samborski is off the track. He got within where he needed to be, and he's gone off the track in the most infamous corner here at Interlagos. He's locked it up and gone off the track, and he's going to not win this race. White flag is in the air, and he's actually being caught by Alacron and Tonto.
Wow,
and the fight for 10th is still going on right now. There's Samborski in second place. Alacron is in third, Tonto's right behind him, and they're in the draft of Eddie Samborski, and they're going to be having the pace. Can they snipe second place from Eddie Samborski on the last lap of this race?
They've got a lot of work to do right now, Austin, because that gap is, well, quite meaty at 7/10 of a second. Half a lap remaining here in Brazil, and this could go anyway. 3 drivers fighting it out over 2 places on the podium. De Caro just needs to bring it home. But wow, Samborski, if he can just drive cleanly, he can hold on to second place. Wow, I feel a bit denied of our grandstand finish in some ways for the win.
It was still a grandstand finish, but it's just in the opposite side of the field. Fabio De Caro, it's a grandstand finish for Brazil. He joins that illustrious club of winning. Brazilian drivers winning in Brazil. Fabio De Caro for full-time esports by TK wins here at Interlagos. And Samborski comes home in second place, trying to hope that was enough for a championship right there, with his championship rival being taken out by him earlier on in this race. Did that give him enough points? Alacron comes home in third, Tonto in fourth, Saito in fifth, as everybody comes across the line. And I think now we just have a moment to breathe.
Wow. Wow. What? Well, I would say what a finish, Austin, but I can't really think of a point in the race where it did not let up. As we're seeing, well, it's still not let up. The checkered flag has gone. We've got the last few drivers coming across the line. This is the battle for 15th. Malo's going to hold on to it there by a quarter of a second at the line. Over his fellow North American rowers there. But wow, what a finish. If you needed an advocate or, an advertisement for Formula Renault 3.5,
any race in Interlagos. Any race in Interlagos. That's why it has been, well, traditionally, the always last round here in Formula 3.5 of all the seasons. They've always ended here at Interlagos, and why not? Fabio De Caro for full-time esports by TK. Finally a winner in the Formula 3.5 after so much trying. He finally comes home here, followed by Eddie Samborski, Marcos Alacross, Gio Tanta, Yuta Saito. I am Keenan, Miguel Crespo, Miguel Vila, Dennis Cornu, Philip Hiller, Daniel Gauss, Mark Ponick, Cal Young, Dylan Fruggleton, James Malik, Gerhard Rutz, Daniel Barrero, Yuki Shirakawa, James J. Pincer, Oliver Kwaka, and 20th, and Josh Stewart, John Owens, Theodore Burns, Dennis Ferkheim, and Eric Weisenmeiski. All of them being involved, the last 4 being involved in that big incident. But ladies and gentlemen, finally a winner in Formula 3.5 and joining that illustrious clubs of Brazilians winning in Brazil, Fabio De Carmo.
Hey, also, hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Fireworks ending to end out the season. Fabio, how are you feeling after that?
Oh, it's amazing. I cannot even believe it. It was so hard throughout the whole race. When I saw James and Eddie going off, I thought, this it's on me now. I just need to keep focused, and I got this. But when I saw that Eddie recovered and was pretty fast, I was just, oh man, I cannot believe this. So I started saving all my DRSs and to fight with him. I knew he would catch me, and fortunately for me, at least he made a mistake in the last lap, and was able to get this. I'm so happy.
Yeah, and what is that feeling when you see that Eddie Samborski gap just constantly getting closer by consistently about half a second a lap? What's going through your mind when you see somebody like Eddie closing in?
Oh, it's just try to remember all the training you had, all the practice, just hit all the references, all the marks, and you know use my head, try to save all the RSs and prepare for the fight. That's what was going on through my mind.
Well, you definitely pulled it out right here. You had the start. The start wasn't the best off the line. What was going through your head and when you saw that little chaos at the start? Because you saw one of the 365 cars go down the inside and had that moment. You want to talk about that start?
Yeah, actually, I don't have a clutch in my rig, so I just try to launch without it. And sometimes it's normal, sometimes it's worse. So just try to stay away from things going on around me. I saw someone spawning on my inside. Just try to go a little bit wider than usual, and I'm happy it worked well.
Well, it definitely worked out for you right here. And what a way to end out the final race of the season with a giant win here at Brazil. Before I let you go, anybody that you want to thank?
Sure. My family, my team, TK, Barretos, all the guys at full time for. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Our sponsors, BO8 Seguros and Logitech, and you guys for the broadcast. Thank you so much, guys. It's a home win. Cannot believe this.
Yeah, you joined that illustrious club, Brazilians winning in Brazil. And congrats on that win. I'm pretty sure everybody is very happy for you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Aussie.
And thank you for putting on a good show as Tim is joined by Eddie.
Welcome along, Eddie. Joined by Adam Samborski. Wow, Eddie, what a drive that was from yourself. I mean, in some ways you might be gutted by just not being able to take the win, but even so, after you must have felt like you were down and out, but you just picked yourself up and to bring the car home in second.
Yeah, um, uh, due to some early incidents, a lot of the teammates were out, so they were giving me lap times. And when I was deep in the field, I just kept asking. I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And they're like, well, you're lapping faster and you're in traffic. So I put my head down, and unfortunately for the mistake late, I had to look at the replay. I was a little too far to the right. Seemed to be the theme of today for some reason. It wasn't the first time I've done that over those bumps. I was trying to open up and get a good run, and I got ahead of myself. But I mean, Fabio drove a smart race. He didn't have any mistakes, so that's for good on him. I'm pretty sure it's his first SOF race win. So congratulations, Fabio.
We were trying to look at obviously the tactics that you were deploying during the race. Obviously, once you'd cleared all the traffic, how many DRSs had you got left at that point? Because myself and Austin were trying. You're looking at it, and you seem to be using some to either defend or get clear of cars as quickly as possible. So once you made yourself way up to second place, just how many did you have left at that point?
I had, I think, 5. I'm trying to think back, and I think I had 5. I, um, had hold on, I have to leave the race server because people are talking. So sorry.
It's
Um,
okay.
I'm pretty sure I had 5 because I had to defend twice, and I think I used one to close up the gap. Because I knew tactically if I had the draft, I could up my pace advantage. So I was trying to use them sparingly because I knew towards the end I was going to need at least 2 to make a pass. And I knew, that typically the drivers out front use them late in the race. So I was anticipating that. So I was just trying to put in you know, basically I couldn't afford to make any mistakes, as you saw. So I was just trying to, if I didn't have draft and I was considering whether to use it or not, and then I had also considered where teammates were predicting I'd catch people in the corners because that would have affected the race time, and I had it going fine. I just kind of got a bit too right and locked the wheels, and that was it.
I mean, you almost sound like you're out of breath there. I mean, we could see and we could, the gap physically constantly shrinking. It was fastest lap after fastest lap from yourself. It felt like you were just throwing absolutely everything at it, including the kitchen sink and anything else that was around you. It must have been, you must feel absolutely drained after that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I was absolutely trying. I don't know how often you were watching my hands, but I tried wrecking the car a handful of times. So, I was just trying to use every available centimeter or inch, whatever your measurement is you like, of track. And I had a few mishaps in the turn 9 where a certain summit time took out a potential first time winner. So I was losing time through there, and I was trying to make it back up going on in the main straight. I shouldn't have done that. The team was all telling me just keep hitting your marks, keep hitting your marks, and I didn't even realize that I was too far to the right. It just kind of happened. It's just one of those things. You get so comfortable, you forget that there's nothing left. And then that's it. All of a sudden, you're off the track. And it happens that fast.
Wow, I'm just being sent over some data right now in terms of championship standings, and wow, according to this, it wasn't quite enough to take the overall win over James in the championship. However, I mean, hats off to you. You gave it your absolute all, and it was just for us to be sat here in the commentary booth, commentating on it and watching it. I'm sure everyone at home would be feeling exactly the same. It was an absolute honor, and you put on an absolute spectacle, and did yourself proud. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Yeah. I gotta thank you guys, Apex Racing, for broadcasting for us. I thank everyone that's funded the broadcast so far. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. We still have probably a few days before we'll get a deadline and be cut off. And I mean, if we raise enough money, I'll be back. If not, or we might have to pursue other options. So for everyone who's ever donated or participated, it's been fun, and hopefully we can continue, and we'll see what happens.
Definitely, that's Eddie Samborski there for Downforce Racing, who came home in second today. Wow.
And I'm actually, we have a full podium interview today. Marcos Alacron started down in 11th to finish up in 3rd. Marcos, how was your day here today?
Hello, how you doing? Oh, it was a crazy race, but it was very fun.
It absolutely looked like a lot of fun for you. The only one on the podium, you started outside of the podium positions, overtaking 11 cars. You made it through the chaos at the start. You want to walk us through what was going through your head at the start of this race?
Yeah, absolutely. In turn 1, there was a big accident, and I was just praying and trying to avoid the other cars. And after that, there were a lot of incidents for the car in front of me, and my pace was good, so I was able to catch the third the third car. Sorry, I don't remember his name, and we have a great battle, in my opinion. So
Yeah,
thank you for
you
that.
and
It was very clean.
you and Gio were
Yeah,
highlight reel of
you,
moves. It was
correct.
absolutely wonderful to watch. You were side by side, and I
Almost
think
a lap.
almost every
Yeah,
corner,
yeah,
every
almost a
corner
lap. Yeah.
You were side by side in multiple laps too. It was wonderful racing here at Interlagos. How do you like racing at Interlagos, especially in these cars?
Well, it's a fantastic track, and it's always a great race here. It's very fun, huge straights and up and down. Amazing roller coaster.
Well, it definitely was a roller coaster day for you, and you ended in the best way possible, up onto the podium as best as you can. And before we let you go, anybody you want to thank?
Well, yes, my mom actually. It's this week is her birthday, so this one is for her, and that's it.
Well, she's definitely going to be happy about that little birthday present right there. Congrats on the podium, Marcos, and you have a great afternoon.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the broadcast. Bye.
And thank you for a great show on the track. Over to Tim. Tim, any final words?
I'm not sure if there's any words left to describe that. What an absolute spectacle of a season finale. Drama from the green light until the checkered flag, overtakes, excitement, and what a way to advertise the Formula Renault 3.5. I mean, driver of the day. I mean, it's so hard to pick. I mean,
I am Keeman. I want to say Keeman.
well,
Starting
yes,
from
I
the
was
pit
gonna.
lane
Yeah,
up to sixth place, but also Fabio De Carmo. Bad start, able to pull it off and hold off Eddie Samborski, who had that incident, clawed his way back up into second place.
I mean,
There's so
it's
many highlights of this race. There's so
there
many
are.
highlights.
You could pick so many drivers potentially. Even further down the field, James Mullow. He came home 15th. He was up 10 places himself. Crespo up 9 places. The driver you were just speaking to, Marcos Alcaron, up 8 places to get onto the podium.
He's definitely the most entertaining driver of the day, Marcos.
Well, yes, it was. Well, I'm
And I gotta
lost for
say,
words.
I would actually give it to Marcos. Hard fought throughout the race, and he definitely earned that podium right there. Elbows out from nearly start to finish, and driver of the day. If you have a different driver of the day or want to prove why I'm wrong, fire it off in the comments. We always love discussion here, but that's enough time for us here in the broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us once again for another wonderful season of iRacing Formula 3.5 here on Apex Racing TV. It's been doing this for about 2 years now. And thank you, everybody, joining us here today. It's been a wonderful season. I've been joined by Tim Cox and Dennis Branch in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers, including Peter Berryman, John Robertson, Brandon Trano, and IndyCar World Champion Alex Palou. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.